Mitch Belisle Ryan Boyle. I feel like we should introduce ourselves at the beginning of this.
They know who we are.
No, they don't.
We were very busy coaching box lacrosse this weekend, so it didn't give us much of a chance to break down the NLL. So thought we'd get back into your files.
We're taking a pause in the pro game. A lot happened in the NLL, a lot happened in the PLL, a lot happened in the WLL. We're taking a pause. We're going to let that build. And we're going to revisit it.
Yeah, we're coming back to your clips. Veterans Day Classic. Excited to dive into it. We're going to break down your highlights. First up, we've got Team 91 Tri-State. I like this. This one's rich.
Yes, there's a lot
compelling,
a lot of good meat on the bone here. A lot of good meat on the bone. A lot of the things I like. Right. First of all, we're clearing away from the box, staying out of trouble. Right. We
moving
good
up the
effort.
ladder too. Right. Yep. Just finding the open man. This is a nice simple play, but checks back to the ball, catches it, realizes he has space, and moves up.
In transition down the side, nice and easy. Freeze it right here. You're keeping this middle wide open, this backside lefty attack. When he starts to kind of creep in, but he's going to get out of there. We go down the side through X. We get the ball low. The goalie now has to turn. All the defensemen have to turn. And we're creating a ton of space for off-ball cutters, right? General rule of thumb, you leave the crease open. And in transition, you cut the crease when you have an odd man advantage. And it forces the defense's hands. Either you're going to be wide open, right? Or the defense has to commit to you, which then leaves trailers on the perimeter.
So these guys clearly went to the Ryan Boyle school
and then
opening and cutting. Look at that, wide open. Couldn't be more open.
Right? That lefty attackman got back out of there. He saw the same scene, but he got back out of there so we can swing it. The Team 91 Tri-State ends up not doing that. But that open space, there's this trailer midi. He's wide open. They don't hit him, but good patterns here in transition.
And part of that, good pressure here by the on-ball defender. He makes it a little bit trickier for that ex-attackman to make that pass. I guess he probably could have made that pass. He gets in the gloves a little bit, but maybe a little late.
Freeze it right here. So this is what I love. You see this defenseman or LSM. He actually wasn't the initial guy that cleared it, right? So you actually had two poles down there. He's now realizing, wait a second, I've got an offensive midfielder trapped, right? Maybe he knows the scout, maybe he doesn't, but just good rule of thumb, you run the field, you trap an offensive midfielder. What do, Mitch?
Keep him on or set a pick and get off.
Set that pick, force him to play in the two-man game, right? Most offensive midfielders don't really know what they're doing defensively, but they can play good on-ball defense. You get them in a two-man game, can they communicate? Can they switch? Can they basically talk through all the mechanics of that? So it's a hard thing, and that way if you get him a switch, now you've trapped him to full possession. If there's some sort of breakdown in communication, then you get this clear advantage.
Let's find out what happens. Guy, nice little pick, sees it up. I'm going to go ahead and say he wasn't quite sure what to do here. This is the look of pure panic. As he takes a peek at his teammate, he sees the guy running past him, and he says, oh no.
I should have said something.
That's a oh sh moment.
That is like the I should have said something. We were probably supposed to talk through something there. And, God bless this defenseman that slides. Because, after this, normally you turn to and you're like, what were you doing?
Head down, slow, walking off the field.
Nothing? Nothing? You didn't want to maybe...
we'll cover that in practice next week. I'll play some tea.
But a lot of good stuff here by Team 91 Tri-State. Love their action in the clearing game, their patterns in that transition game, and then the high IQ play from that pole to set the pick, and the recognition of the attackman to come around off of that, and then once there was a breakdown, it's like, yeah, this is my time.
Well, it's funny, and you watch the high-level highlight, it almost looks like this Team 91 player just ran all the way around the field, but then having that ability to zoom out, you see, he kind of recognizes, he sees that pick, he takes a great angle right off the picker's shoulder, and then just a nice over-the-top, very far side. That's a beautiful finish there. True Philly.
You're going to go with sound, huh?
Oh, yeah. You gotta get some love.
So for all the offensive clips we do over and over and over again, it was only fair, Mitchell, that we eventually weaved in here, weaved.
Weave, just weave.
Weave is the past tense of weave?
Weave. Woven.
That's why.
Weaving.
That's the actual question. How it's
Weaved.
So that it's only fair that we weave.
Yeah, that's what I said. Weave.
That we weave in a defensive play here.
We're bobbing and weaving here. Just a nice initial setup check, and then it's the secondary check. He gets him nice and low. And here we go. This is a prime example, I think, of the clip. There's the clip, right? There's the highlight clip, and then there's everything that goes on around it. And we're going to watch the whole video. This is what I love so much about doing these zoom outs, and huge credit to Andrew Goldberg for finding the corresponding game film that goes with these highlights, because here we're going to dive in and we're going to see how that comes to be.
If you couldn't tell by the stick of the offensive player, it was a face-off specialist. And this pole, oh yeah, I love the sound effect. With the pole, he is just a shark smelling blood, right? Post-win, I'm going to stay all over it. And what I love about this pole's effort is he causes the initial turnover, or causes the turnover on the initial play, but then stays with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, his first, as soon as he makes that check, we'll skip up to the check. As soon as he makes that check, he is finding the ball, right? Instead of just celebrating that check, or boom, he checks, immediately sees it's out, finds the ball. Now he goes for a big check here. I really like this play by the pole in black. Mm-hmm. He duffs the initial ground ball, but watch this. The ball comes his way. He just misses it, but stays with it. Little hockey.
Little goose to himself.
Gooses it up to himself. Is able to pick that thing up, but then gets into trouble again. And then 11 back on him. Like you said, the shark attack continues. Another hard chop. Possibly a hold. Possibly a push. Definitely a horse collar. But what an animal out there. So you see the check on the highlight, then you see several borderline penalties, but what an effort by 11 to win that ball back. And you know what? Most importantly, what direction is that ball going?
On the offensive side, right?
For green.
On the offensive side. So, and this is where I've also got to call out my brethren here. You go back to the initial play. You know, the face-off specialist, he wins this attack. You gotta be an outlet here. You gotta. So the ball's won, right? Coming down. He's got to pull. Freeze it right here. This lefty's having. You gotta get out here.
He is inside the bubble at Iron Peak Sports and Events, hiding out in the snack stand, grabbing an ice cream.
Get involved. Like he needs an outlet. Clearly, he's under duress.
Okay, help him.
Right, and then. This is where the attack like, come on, guys. This is where we get a bad name. Because then there's a loose ball, right? And this little deep, right here. Freeze it right here. Attack!
Maybe hunt that down.
Get involved! We got 1, 2, 3 guys. You're all in the box. Like, you're allowed to play this loose ball. Like, don't.
I'm good. You guys got this.
You gotta get involved here. You can't just wait. Like, right now, another loose ball. Like, that one attack was like, all right.
I should probably get in there.
Okay, this is the third loose ball. Like, maybe I get in the mix here. Like,
there he goes.
Yeah.
He's starting to pick up the pace.
Yes. Like, a hair too late. If he had that reaction, right, a second earlier, then he would have been in that scrum. Yeah. So I got to call out my brethren there because, you know, sometimes
little love for the love for the defense, and a little criticism for the attack.
I told you we were going to weave it in.
That's a nice recall right there.
Yeah.
We're getting one of our own, Tyler Samrani, a Trilogy Lacrosse camper. We'll watch the highlight first. It's a sweet one because I love you get the hitch. Oh, a thing of beauty. That's something we teach at every Trilogy Lacrosse camp, and you're gonna see that's something that Tyler Samrani he took to heart.
Well, he's a member of Shore to Shore, coached by Todd Higgins, another Princeton grad. So I'm sure they're getting coached up. The Tigers. We know how to coach. So
let's take a look at how this develops from the beginning. So we got man up opportunity for Shore to Shore.
We got Tyler's this high lefty shooter, this lefty wing. Freeze it right here. So this is the top step, right? Poor approach angle. Good job by that big hitch. Really showing like shot. Right? Plants that foot in the ground. You could see all the green space, right? all that green space directly in front of him to work for a better angle, right? So when I watched this the first time, you see the social media clip, and you're like,
Here it comes.
This is surely the goal, right?
This is a quick clip, right?
Yeah.
Wait, no,
wait.
Ball goes wide.
Wait, what's going on here? Okay, well, he's the shooter, so we should probably be aware of him defensively. Freeze when he gets to the top point. One more. Two guys rotate there.
Pinch,
So
pinch.
confusion on, are we in a box and one? Are we rotating on the perimeter? Or are we on a 5-man here and we're kind of like old school stringing, right? That there's a breakdown in communication and execution in terms of what are we doing in terms of a rotation standpoint. And the guy that just hitched and top step is now, I mean, there's not a defender within what, 7-8 yards?
Yeah.
So we got to sprint over.
Oh.
And
Remix. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, you got us twice, and that's a goal.
what is the fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice,
Shame on me.
it's just shame on me? It's
Yeah.
just that easy?
And these are it's two different defenders. To be fair, it's two different defenders. However,
Is it?
yeah, if you go back, it's a short stick the first time. So they rotated, right? So you go back, this is the first round. They rotate, the short stick comes off the crease.
Yep.
So it's also two different angles of attack, right? But with that said, this pole who ends up rotating, he sees that happen, right? So he's got to say, okay, number 8, lefty shooter, he likes the top step, might use that. Surely he couldn't do it twice. And sure enough, we throw it across. Like you said, it's a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
2 or 3 go to the ball. Comes over, another nice hard top step, and this time he takes that. I feel like it's that one extra step, right? The first one he almost stopped. The second one, he kind of closes off the gate and comes back around towards the pipe to get a little more power.
He also shoots in the net in the air, right? Instead of bouncing it and kind of leaving it up to what that bounce looks like and potentially slowing the shot down, like in the net in the air. Hard velocity, like you don't want to slow those down. Just pepper the goal.
Yeah, and then the last thing I'll say, defensively, always, especially on man down, you want to approach with your stick to the stick head and then your body over the top of the stick head. So that way, worst case, that player face dodges you. Now he's got to run, get his hands back in front of him. You might have a slide or help. So if you're a defender,
worse angle that way.
and if you're that defender that get caught on the top step, right? It'll happen when you're recovering full speed. Sometimes that happens. Attack and offensive players can take advantage. But if you have the ability to come towards the stick head, then worst case, you just absorb that shot, knock that shot down. Best case, they tuck it under and either pull it out or you defend going down the alley.
So hopefully you took some things away. Look, let us know what you want. So we took a break from the pro stuff, dove back into the clips, but we're looking to mix it up kind of on an ongoing basis. So appreciate any feedback. So we're giving the people what they want.